So I'm gonna tell y'all, like probably a year and 2 months ago, I did a DoorDash order, right, as a customer, and I did not leave a tip. Right. I know. Trust me. It was the only time I've ever made an order with no tip. And I learned, trust me, I learned my lesson, right? Because, all right, this is what happened. It was like 8:45 at night. I placed an order, right? And like I said, I left no tip. Would you believe I fell asleep before that food got here? Like it was really like a perfect lesson I learned because I placed the order. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I'm like, God, it took like over an hour, and they were still trying to find a driver. So I fell asleep. I woke up the next morning. The food was at the door. I was like, oh my God, I fell asleep waiting. Like it was wild. But anyways, I say that to say I think I have an idea of how they can fix this, right? Because um, at that moment, I remember thinking to myself, like, if I hit the cancel button, I'm going to get charged $5 or whatever it is, right? And I wasn't trying to cancel. And the only option that I could have thought of was if only there was a little button on the app that said, would you like to add or would you like to edit your tip? Right? Now, if I could have just added more tip, that would have been great. Now, there is one issue with this, right? I think with Uber, if I'm not mistaken, I don't do Uber, so I don't know. Anyways, if I'm not mistaken, Uber's drivers say that customers can take their tip back after the delivery. That doesn't exist on DoorDash. Whatever you see, you get to keep. No one is gonna like, scam you and rug pull you and take your money after they've given it to you and all that stuff. But with that being said, if there was an option, I think a lot of customers would take it. I've gone to like restaurants. I was at a McDonald's. I walked in there to pick up an order, and the manager was like, "This order has been sitting here for 45 minutes." Imagine a McDonald's order in a bag on a shelf for 45 minutes. Not to mention the customer lived like 15 minutes away. Who would want that order? So, I mean, maybe let's just give people the benefit of the doubt, right? Maybe the customer hit the wrong button. They entered zero for a tip by mistake. If there was another button that said, "Would you like to add an additional tip?" I bet they would have hit it. I bet, they probably got tired of waiting. Um, you know. So that's what I would say. I think they should implement that. But with, the very specific and concrete understanding that whatever tip they add, the total is fixed. They can't take the tip back after the driver delivered the food, because that's a whole other thing. I mean, how is that even legal or logical? Because I saw someone on Twitter, some, low class individual, they were like, I put a $20 tip on Uber, and then, that propels the driver to give a very speedy delivery because you want to respect someone that's respecting you. So the driver in their mind is like, this customer tipped me $20. I'm going to give him or her top notch service. I'm going to drive really quickly to their house. I'm going to make sure I get all the utensils, straws, all that stuff. I'm going to be super polite, excellent customer service. They're going to have a fantastic experience. And this is what and then the Twitter person or whatever, they went on to say, I put the $20 tip on the app. The driver quickly delivers my food, and then once I receive my food, I take back the $20 tip. Zero tip. Obviously, people are going to abuse this. Why wouldn't they? Duh. Which is why I do appreciate DoorDash. They don't let people take back their tips. But with that being said, I think it would fix the whole thing. Because what do they do now? DoorDash adds the tip for the customer, which is really weird. Why? Why? Have you ever heard of a company tipping on the behalf of a customer? Have you ever heard of that? I don't think any other company does that. I'm not sure how they came up with that idea. But all it would take is just one little button. Would you like to add an additional tip? I think it's simple. I think it would help the app.